Hi, I'm Haley, and I am here with Daly Gentry with 5-Star Design Experience, and we're going to talk to you about the 5-Star Design Experience. So, our first question for Daly is, what's something designers think will grow their business but actually holds them back?
I think the one thing that designers feel like will grow their business is taking every project that comes to them. And at first, I think it's kind of how we have to be in the industry is to grow it as much as we can. And the only way you do that is by taking on as many projects. But then we get in this hamster wheel of all of these tiny little projects while we really want the big ones, but we all have to start somewhere. So, but I think once you start building your business, saying no actually opens new doors.
Awesome, thank you. Why do so many talented designers burn out, even when they're booked? What's their pain point that leads to system processes and solutions?
So, what was burning me out was just the simplicity of not being completely prepared. And I think, like, I remember when you were first starting with DGD, we were like, all the systems were in the very beginning mode of bringing in everything that I knew I was missing in the business.
Mhm.
And one of the things was not documenting every thought that lived in the brain. Like, as designers, I think we come up with a lot of different ideas, and sometimes we don't give all the information.
Mhm.
So there's always gaps and holes on the project, which causes more phone calls from the contractors, more site visits. People are less clear on what's happening. Clients don't feel as in the know of what their design is, which, you know, leaves confusion out there and uncertainty.
Okay.
So in that was where we created the entire spec book, which you were really pivotal in, and you know it like the back of your hand.
Yes.
But making it, and even when we were in the evolution of the spec book, it started one way and now it's completely grown a different way, just as we've seen on site on how everybody has needed it.
Yeah.
And you've really seen that
Yeah.
because it works so different with trades as vendors that go through the spec book to know how to bid it,
Mhm.
as opposed to how the actual builder bids it also. Like,
Mhm.
you've seen the difference in how we've had to kind of evolve and pivot through it.
Yeah. Mm.
What would you say would be the biggest change and the best change?
Of the spec book?
Mhm.
I think from the beginning, I feel like we had it pretty basic. I mean, it was basic but not basic. It had all the details, right? But it started out with just, okay, here's your floor plan, here's your elevations, and here's all your call outs. Well, then it just kind of started evolving into, okay, well, now we can give them a visual of what this floor plan or what this elevation is going to look like by incorporating rendered elevations and rendered floor plans. So if something gets wrong or ordered wrong, for example, a paint color, and you order this dark green paint, but the rendering clearly shows it's a light green paint, you can see that there's something wrong, and it's clear. And then we kind of started doing it where, okay, we keep it live because not everybody wants this giant book that you have to, lug around onto the job site and everywhere you go. So we were able to then link everything, and it really has become like a one stop shop for the entire project. Builders, vendors, clients, designers, everybody can find every bit of information that they would possibly need in this spec book.
It's so much easier to update now too.
It is. And because we also have the QR codes, and with everything being through Canva, it's super easy to update. And then it just automatically updates on your QR code, and you don't have to constantly reprint QR codes when something updates because we've been working on projects for 2, 3 years and they are still
Changing.
updating. Yeah, you go through these cabinet meetings, and you're like, well, actually, this would work better this way, or this plumbing needs to be moved here, or actually, we're going to change this paint color in this sconce. And all it does is it takes 5 minutes to update, and then you just send out a quick email. Okay, awesome. Everything's updated and live, ready to go. And you can access the whole spec book through Canva or the schedules or the QR codes or the digital spec book. There's just so many places that you can find all of your information, and there's just no question. if it's always there, and if you can't find a link, then now you know it's out of stock. So guess what? Now we know we need
Changes.
to change it. And because with the book, you don't get that. The hard copy book, you don't get that. But at the very end, having that hard copy book is also super helpful because you still have all that information, even though something does go out of stock. Or
for the client.
Yeah, for the client at the end. So I would just say we've increased the amount of information that goes into the spec book, not even realizing you could increase the amount of information you could put into the spec book. I mean, we go into tile layouts and the low voltage and showing you where this linear lighting is supposed to be and how it's supposed to look. And I mean, we've given you everything that you need. You just have to
do it.
build
Well,
it.
and that's the evolution of design. When I first started, everything was done on the floor plan, but now we work everything so vertically.
Yeah.
And lighting has become so pivotal in design. It changes a space, I mean, completely. That without it being called out the way it's actually going to be built, there's no way for anybody to know exactly what it's supposed to look like without us having it on a vertical elevation. Otherwise, it's kind of a lost bit. Yeah, I think that was a big game changer in the spec book, especially AV has so many questions and it's become so intricate in design that it's been a game changer, I think, definitely for us and for the builder from bidding.
Yeah.
I think what they appreciate so much is the client knows what's happening, so it's not a surprise for them. And also the builder knows exactly what's happening, even though we have a lot of pivot points, but it's just construction. But for the most part, we've got it together. So there might be some things that we see, like as things go up vertically and are being built, that you go, actually, if we did this, it would look better. But I think for the most part, it makes you kind of stay and keeps client in the know of what's happening.
Yeah. Everybody knows what's happening. Yeah. When an update's made, I mean, it's there within, a day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing now is them finding out what's been updated.
Yeah.
So that's where we send out notes. So telling them, hey, we updated this, because it's always, I don't want to say it's always changing, because it's really not, but it's like small tweaks that are happening on the job site.
Yeah. And they're usually pretty small. I mean, for example, today we got the dimensions of a hamper. And so I was like, okay, well, now we need to update this elevation. So we update the rendered. And there we go. We just say, hey, this was a quick update, just so y'all know.
To the cabinet maker.
Today. Yep. And all it did was change 7 inches, but it's still
7 inches
that had to be made, because if not, it'd be wrong.
Yep.
That would be bad.
And I think that's where the spec book has changed things, because there were things that have happened in the past that have been wrong.
Yeah.
And this creates like a checkpoint for us in knowing that our designs are actually following what has been shown to the client.
Right.
So that we don't have these surprises where we're actually paying for the mistake, because it's our job to communicate to all the vendors, the builder, all the trades. And if we're not communicating properly, then it's on us.
Right. There's a lot that goes into the spec book, and it's definitely very beneficial key to a project, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's the main thing that we get the most comments on.
Yeah.
That they don't see very often. Vendors say it, builders constantly say it. Really everybody we work with just says it's a game changer for projects.
And something else that I think would be beneficial to note is it's beneficial for vendors, because we also have those live schedules in there too. So we can just say, okay, here's the whole spec book, so you can see where everything is at, but you can also just click on this countertop schedule and this is everything you need. Or here's the lighting schedule or the hardware schedule. And you don't have to scroll through everything to find it, but you can also click on that Canva link within that schedule and say, oh yeah, this sink goes here. That looks great. And you know what room it's going in. You can visualize everything, because everybody is just everybody's visual learners. So having that visual for the vendors to also see, I think, is helpful, but they can also find it quickly. and they don't have to
Yes.
scroll through everybody else's
And all the
product.
pages and rooms. They can just go to what their product is.
Right.
Yeah.
But they still can see everything else, which I think is
Helpful.
helpful. What is the biggest difference between a designer before 5-star and after?
I think the biggest difference that I've heard and found is that they have changed their business to be more geared towards being a partner and somebody that actually adds something to the project. I mean, we all add things to projects. I don't want to say that because you can't build a house without a designer, or I don't think you can. I think
Right.
it's a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
We save you money. We make the designs better. I mean, all around, you need a designer when you're building a house. But I think when you have 5-star, you're actually collaborating and working with the builder in a frame that benefits them.
Right.
So, and that's the thing I think is the biggest turning point of working with builders is sometimes we get the bad rap that we're working against them when really we should both be collaborating. They've been doing it for a very long time. So they bring great ideas to the table just like we do. And if
Right.
we collaborate, we can make houses so much more extraordinary than it is just us coming to the design piece and not thinking that they have any input in it because they have a ton.
Right.
And really, we come up with the best ideas when we're working together on that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think seeing from kind of not an outside point of view looking in, but somebody that is like watching everything happening, um, I feel like watching you work with the builders, I've heard you say numerous times, there's no finger pointing. Like when you're on the same team with your builder and your client can see that, there's no, oh, well, you messed this up and now you have to pay for it. And, it's watching you work as a team, like you said, and the client knows you're a team. There's no, well, the designer said this, but the builder's telling me this, and the finger pointing, like it just goes away because
Keeps
you're all on the same
confident.
team. Yeah.
Yeah. And the client always feels taken care of.
Right.
Instead of people throwing each other under the bus. It makes the worst. It's like, it makes things so uncomfortable when it's that way. So if you
Yeah.
can always be a team in it, and I think our spec book allows us to be more of a team
I agree.
and be a part of that partnership because we're working in their space too. And we recognize, yes, we deal with a ton of details,
Mm-hmm.
but they do too.
Right.
And if we're not working together,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then it's just an uphill battle and it makes it no fun for them, no fun for us. And especially the most important one is the client.
Right.
Because it's hard to build a house.
Yeah.
And these houses that we work on are just like the amount of details in them is
Insane.
yeah.
For lack of better words. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And this allows you to create the spec book becomes a checklist for you.
Yeah.
So we know when we're missing something
Mm-hmm.
because we've made it to where these are all templates that you're just filling in
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to you having to think about what am I missing here? Oh, we've
Right.
already created it for you. So we just do rinse and repeat for each project that comes along.
Right. Yeah. I think going back, like you said, it's more of like a checklist. I know one thing that like my brain always just kind of like pushes to the side is like picking out grout. But we have that whole page that's like, okay, here's your tile, here's your layout, here's your grout. This is how this is supposed to be. So going back to the spec book, I think there's so many little details in there that you don't even really recognize until you get to that point. And then they're like, oh, by the way, we're ordering tile next week, but we don't have any of your grout colors. Oh, well, it's on the checklist. Here you go. Now that doesn't happen because we have a page for
We're
you.
already out of it. Yeah.
So
Like
already
bulbs.
fill it out. And bulbs. Yes.
When lighting's being installed and you don't have bulbs,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a big deal.
Yep. Well, there's a whole schedule for it. So if it has to be filled out, then, there's your checkpoint. At what point did you realize talent wasn't the thing scaling your business?
Oh, I got told a long time ago by a coach that I worked with that said the most talented designers will only go so far. The ones that have good systems and process may not even be like super talented, but they will be more hired than the most talented one because their business is a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that to heart. I think I'm a talented designer, but you know, um, I think the main thing when it comes to talent with a designer is being creative, obviously, but all of our designs are more of a reflection of our clients and what they want and what they come to the table with their list of needs and wants. So all of our designs are so different from each other because
Yeah.
we are constantly evolving for clients because it shouldn't be about us. It should be about them.
Right.
Um, so I think talent there is listening
Yeah.
and interpretation is huge.
Yes.
I mean, and you can have two different spouses that come to the table with two different views on what they think a place should function like or what it should look like. And then you have to take those and mold those together,
Right.
which we do a lot of listening,
Yeah.
a lot of questioning. We have a lot of process that goes into it. And one day we'll be releasing that piece too. But it's really, I would say, mostly about listening and interpreting and then having the process and the procedures and the systems that support that.
Right.
Because I think clients, when they come in and see how in depth our process is,
Yeah.
they immediately exhale.
They do. Yeah.
You just see it in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they see that we have, we're taking great care of them based on all of the details. Like they know it's a well-run business in that sense.
Yeah. Going through like client meetings and stuff, I have definitely seen like whenever we start showing, potential clients, okay, you're going to get this and we're going to go through this. And then this is what you're going to get in the end. Every single client is just, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is awesome. Like they definitely, like you said, they just exhale and you can tell they're just like, okay, decision made.
Right.
Like at that point, there's no question besides, okay, what's next? So being able to show them, everything that, like you said, the whole process definitely makes the client feel at ease before we ever even
Absolutely. And I
start.
think even with the builders that we work with,
Mm-hmm.
um, they excel because I remember one of the first times when we met with the builder that it was your first day as an intern, who has become a great partner and a great friend. And we could not be more grateful. I mean, they are basically like family to us. We know what things that are going on with their kids, they're just wonderful people. And I remember they came to the table and they came to interview me.
Mm-hmm.
And they were asking, okay, well, what are you gonna, what are you gonna do how do you take care of this? You're gonna just tell us that we're gonna have to find these antique doors.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, we're gonna source it for you.
Yeah.
Wait, you're gonna go find them? Well, of course, that's what we're supposed to do. And it was a whole, like, they've never been treated that way before, I was baffled by because I thought that's our job. Like our job isn't just to come up with ideas, but we have to source all of these things.
Right.
And help find solutions. So we constantly work on that, sometimes we spend too much time on it, but it is for the benefit of the project. So if we're charging enough for it and we're making sure we're covering for those things, then we don't have to worry about what time we're spending on that piece. And we can offer more to the builder and most importantly, our client. We're offering them good solutions for their home.
Right. Yeah. I do remember that conversation actually. I remember sitting back there and I was like, dang, they're interviewing her and she's doing so good. But
now they're awesome.
Yeah, they are. What actually makes a client come back again and again?
Well, I think we spend a lot of time with clients and really build relationships with them. They become dear friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's knowing I think everybody appreciates time and knowing you're being taken care of, that you matter. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we do the little things that make clients know that they matter in the business, and that it matters what they want for the house. Not that we don't come back and say, this isn't really a good idea, but and we finish the job, like,
Yeah.
to the end and into the umph and give them all the details. But I think relationships are a lost piece that many people are really starving for.
Yeah, especially in today's time, having
Mhm.
that personal connection with, I mean, nowadays we have AI and, there's so many things that aren't personal anymore, but having that
Mhm.
personal connection with you, because like you said, they become friends. There's holiday gifts that go out and, I mean, your weekend calls and, happy birthday texts and, oh, it's their anniversary. Like we make sure that we focus on all of those small moments for them, which like you said, just creates that relationship and it's personal, which
Mhm.
people like these days.
Yeah, well, and
So,
we're in their homes, which is incredibly personal. It's such a
yeah.
gift to be invited into someone's home and to be a part of all the little details,
Yeah.
and we get into some details.
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. Um, what is a hard truth about running a design business that most people don't want to hear?
It's a lot of work. It's a we're expected as designers to kind of know everything, even though, I mean, there's no way for us to, but we do. I mean, we're in every piece of that home. Like we're placing vents. I mean, we had a meeting the other day where we're moving returns and, making decisions about that affect the ceiling and how it looks. And, we're meeting with HVAC and talking about those things. We're talking about lighting, about, well, we need to put this lighting in because it's going to reduce and not have blue light and it's healthier for the client. I mean, we are literally in every aspect of it, and the details can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I think like I look at some of our houses because they're so big and it can be overwhelming when you just think about it, but it's one
Right.
bite at a time.
Hmm.
And having the systems in the process alleviates that stress,
Yeah.
I think, a lot
I
because
agree.
it's like, I shouldn't say small, it's like a big checklist.
Yeah.
And everybody loves a
Yeah.
checklist.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely do touch on everything, and I will say watching you kind of like lead, um well, clearly I follow you, but
Well,
you definitely handle all of them with very like a calm, can't think of my words right now, but um I think I like watching you having to deal with all of those because it is very overwhelming, but I think you handle it really well. And it's just, like you said, like it's just a checklist and it's just the details can be very, very overwhelming. And I even sometimes get overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm not even having to answer those questions, but that is a lot of information. And it's all, I mean, they all come to you. Like the builders are, hey, we need to figure out where to place these vents, like you said. And I'm like, I would think, well, that's probably kind of like your job, but you're on site, you're the builder, but when it like you said, when it comes to design, we think of everything like how the air is going to flow and, the lighting that they use. Are you going to dim it? Are you going to not dim it? Do you want this? Do you want that? Like there really is a lot of detail, and I think you handle it very, very well
oh,
because
thank
it
you.
can be very overwhelming,
Thank you.
even just listening to the conversations. But yeah, so
It's 20 years of it,
yeah,
and I was in the same spot listening a
yeah,
lot, and that's how you learn.
yeah, it is. We listen a lot.
Mhm, mhm.
um, what makes the 5-star design experience fundamentally different from other programs?
So, I think the biggest difference is we kind of focus on a whole relationship with the builder. We talked a lot about the spec book, which is a huge part of our systems and process, but
Right.
the 5-star builder, relationships is also about how you cultivate that relationship. It's not a sales pitch, and that I can't say that, like, more
Mhm.
because if you focus on making a sale constantly with these builders, that's all anybody ever comes to them with. It's the same with us. We get a million different emails selling us on things.
Right.
But if you look at it more as a relationship and you're actually building a partner in the business and you see how you can help them, how they can, it's like it's a work back constantly. Like we constantly are giving, they're constantly giving. And,
Right.
you know, it's about that partnership and collaboration and friendship and
Mhm.
relationship that you've got to build. So what we teach you is how to find those builders that align with you, because they become your friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, you need to agree on a lot of the same things for them to really become a dear friend.
Right.
And then also we teach you how to handle the rejection of if there's one out there that isn't
Mhm.
aligning with you, or they don't feel the same about what you want.
Right.
We also teach you how to show up in that, like as a, you know, stop the emailing. People
Mhm.
want to hear from people.
Yeah.
Not surprising them at their office, but, you know, make a phone call,
Right.
ask the questions,
Mhm.
get, you know, want to know more about them, make it all about them. People like to talk about themselves.
Yeah.
So, become a really good listener, like we have to be with our clients. I think they want to know that their clients are going to be as taken care of as they take care of their clients.
Yeah.
If they don't feel like you're the one that will take care of them and take things off of their plate,
Mhm.
then they don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
But we teach you that stuff. So we also teach you what to look for when you're thinking about a builder that might align with you,
Mhm.
right? Because if they have a designer on staff, that's not your builder.
Right.
But we've created like an entire step-by-step weekly thing. We also have created a marketing book for them, right?
Yes.
And the marketing book breaks down our process,
Mhm.
and it allows you a easy template of like throwing in your own projects,
Mhm.
throwing in your brand.
Yep.
But all the copy has been done for you. And
Yeah.
it's not a tiny book.
No. No.
So
It's
it's
it's a
quite
good book.
large.
Yeah.
I think there's like, what, like 34 pages in here?
Something like that. Yeah.
But it makes it super easy for them to open it. And it's so nicely put together
Yep.
that everybody who sees this is like, oh,
Ooh,
wow,
what
like
is this?
that's nice.
Yep.
And you can leave it behind with them, and they can even show potential clients that they're working with that could be your potential clients. So
Right.
you're giving them something that they can say, this is who we work with,
Right.
and look how they show up.
Mhm.
Because that's super important.
Yeah.
How do you show up?
Right.
And then you want to talk about the quick print
Oh, yes. So we created a quick print marketing book for you. Basically
spec book, quick
a
prints.
quick print spec book. Yes, sorry. Um, that it's basically like a small project that we've done, but it's easy for you to just, okay, here's QR codes, here's the whole book, and all you have to do is print it out. And that way you can take it to your builder meeting and you can say, here's what my process looks like. Here's a quick glimpse of a kitchen, a great room, the main rooms of a house, and it has everything in it. All of the call outs, the links. So even if you wanted to do the digital spec book with the links and everything, then you can send that out via email,
Mm-hmm.
and they can click through everything, and it's a whole spec book put together just to show off your process. You can go through and you can edit them and you can brand them if you want to, but it's so you don't have to have a whole project
Mm-hmm.
completed
To
before
get
you can
out there.
show off what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really simple, actually. Like, we have made it so simple for you. All you have to do is pop in your images on a regular spec book with all these templates that we've created for you and fill in the blanks. So
Right.
it's very simple. So here's your quick print that all you have to do is print it out and email it, and you can show off what you can do.
Right.
And we even give you the QR codes to scan those. And in that marketing book, there is a QR code that people can scan, and it will take you to the quick print spec book. So that way it's like a quick glimpse of, oh, this is what I'm going to get. So it's just to give you a little boost to get your foot out there.
Exactly. You don't have to wait for the project to implement the process.
Right.
Is what we found when we were working in beta. This was one of the things that one of the designers was saying, like, we have to create this whole project to even implement it. And that was where it was like, light bulb. No, wait, we've already done this. Like, this is already a part of our process.
Yep.
Here's a quick print book, and you can utilize all of this and show it to the builder or the vendor or the architect, because it works with everybody, really.
Yeah.
We also, oh, I just lost my thought, but we found that one of the other things was QR codes, having to have a subscription. So Haliee, the genius that she is, figured out how we could use Canva for our QR codes instead of having to use a separate subscription. So we have really like funneled this down where now it's just Canva, Google,
Yeah.
and PDF.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like you just have to have Adobe, you have to have those 3 programs and you can operate this entire system.
Yeah.
Which I think makes it so much easier because everybody understands. I mean, Canva is so easy to operate in. It's so intuitive. And then, everybody works in Adobe.
Right.
And Google, if you're not in there, you should, because it's super easy.
It is super easy.
And then you can also connect that to builders, like they can get to things. You can share things. I mean, it's so easy.
It is.
And most people use it.
Yeah. I would say, no, I just lost my train of thought. But I guess going back with, you don't even necessarily have to have Adobe, for this. It's really just Google and Canva, to be honest. I mean, we have it where a lot of people do use Adobe just so, it's just people are set in their ways and Adobe's been around for a long time. But so we do show you how to link everything through Adobe also. So everything is there. Don't worry. You can still
lots
do
of
it
videos.
with Adobe.
Lots of videos.
Lots and lots of videos. But something to point out, even if there isn't a video for you to figure out how to do something, there's a community within the course that you can always ask questions.
Yes.
And
so that's our new thing.
Yes, that's going to be new.
I'm really excited about that.
Yes. So if you have any question on, okay, these videos are great, but I actually need to figure out how to do this, this, and this, you can type it in there. And if another designer gets to it before we do, then guess what? Another designer can answer your questions, but we'll be checking it periodically. So we can get on there, and if we need to schedule a Zoom call to like walk you through something, we can do that. It will be very helpful because videos are great, but let's be honest, videos can't answer all of your questions. So
right.
There's always going to be something that you're like, okay, this video shows me how to do this, but I really need to do this piece. So,
but we really have work to cover all the little details on there. And the other thing we're offering now too is a once a month call. So Haliee and I will both be on this call because Haliee is kind of the tech person, or is not kind of, she is. So we'll be on this call once a month. You get an hour with us to talk about different parts and pieces of what might be slowing you down in this process. We want to support you, and that's only $25 extra a month that you can hop on for a subscription.
Yeah.
But we want to be able to support you as you go through this. We have made it super easy where it's like 9 weeks of you working on this. Does that mean by the end of 9 weeks you're going to have a relationship? Maybe. But there is no promise in that. Obviously, relationships don't happen overnight. No. In fact, the one that I got the call for, I had met with them a year, I think it was like 15 months before I ever even got that next one. She was a coordinator at another builder that I went and met with and started asking them questions about it. And I guess she liked the process of things that I was doing. And she moved to a different builder. And that's where I got the call saying, hey, would you like to take on some projects? And that's where we created this relationship with this one builder. Yeah. So you just don't ever know when it's going to happen. No. And it is all about timing. And please stop worrying about or thinking that every builder has a designer. While, yes, they're working with a lot of them, but it may not be their favorite designer they're working for. You can become their favorite by having this entire process because you help them so much. And they, like us, are living in the details. And if they have extra help and somebody that knows what they're doing with construction, they love them.
Yeah.
I mean, all the guys. I mean, when you work and you're working with these project managers, they are so grateful that you're so in it with them.
Yeah, they are.
Extremely grateful for that because they're not used to being taken care of that way.
No, they're always just like, oh, you're going to take care of that?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that support on site is and with those builders is definitely a key part to becoming that or creating that relationship with a builder
And that trust.
and the trust.
They know they can trust us that we're going to handle and take care of
Yeah.
not only the client, but them too through the build. Like we're going to be able to work together through the entire piece.
Yeah. But I think something that is important is yes, they can rely on us and they can rely on, like, they have that trust for us. But when you're doing this research and trying to find the builder, you have to make sure that you can also trust them and
Oh,
rely on
yeah.
them. You can't be the one having, all of that
Good point.
responsibility.
Yes.
Like, yes, they're looking for you, but like she's mentioned before, you have to be looking for them. They have to fit what you need. You can't just fill the void for them. They have to fill the void for you also.
Yeah. It's
So
a two-way street
it is.
for sure. And you want to make sure you're not picking one of the bad builders because just like us and our job, there are some that don't have their processes and their systems together and they're
Right.
not working to take care of the client and they're not building a house that is, a well-built house.
Right.
So you do have to protect yourself in that too and make sure you're really aligning with who you decide you want to work with.
Right. Yes. Okay. Let's see. Think. I don't think I've asked this one yet. Sorry.
No.
How does a designer need to think differently to actually become successful? I don't think I asked that one.
Oh, that's a good one. How do you have to think differently? So I've worked with a few coaches now because I think that's always important. It makes you grow a lot, but mindset has been a big focus over the years. And I think you have to get out of your way, like stop the imposter. We all are really good at what we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't be this far into it. Um, and stop comparing yourself to everybody. I mean, I know everybody says comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
But it really is.
It
really
is.
is. And everybody does fabulous work. And I love seeing what everybody does. And sometimes you can get in your head and think, am I turning out something as wonderful as what that designer did? And, you can go back and forth. But if you kind of stay out of that and are grateful and really staying grateful for what you have, I think that makes a huge difference on your success. Abundance is there. It's just a matter of how it flows in and how open you are to it. And if you're not open to it, it's not coming for you.
Right.
So I think a lot of it has to do with who we are as people and what we are sitting in our vortex of things, our life and like our faith and what our values are really important. Being ethical, I think is so important. If we're good people, more good comes. But I don't know, that's just kind of how I've lived it and enjoyed it. And I think you find more joy in those. And not that there's not going to be bumps, because there's a lot of bumps and frustrating points. And, it's life. And running your own business and being in that is part of it. But gosh, it's so cool to watch somebody come into their home, their dream home, and see how they light up. It's pretty amazing that you were a part of that.
Yeah. I'm excited for that moment because I haven't really been on a part of that quite
We've
yet.
been working so long and
we've been in the
you've had
design and
some little
construction.
ones that we've worked
Little
on and you've
ones.
gotten to see how excited people get in that, but
Yeah.
never one of these big houses. It's so much fun because these clients these have been dreams for years upon years. And how I feel so grateful to be able to be a part of that team that brings their dreams alive. Like it's so cool. It's so cool. And it's so cool when we get to see new things happening on projects and then you see them walk in and they light up like, oh yeah, this is it. I didn't know what it was going to be, but now I see it.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah. I think that's something that I think probably a lot of people don't really think of is consider yourself lucky to be there. Like consider yourself lucky to be a part of this like journey with them. just because, like you said, these are people's dreams. And if you have that mindset of, I'm really happy, I'm really lucky, and I'm really grateful to be here, I mean, it just changes the whole mindset of the project. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have 20 years of experience, but just hearing you talk and stuff, I think if you had that mindset of, oh, I'm meant to be here, which you should have that a little
Mm-hmm.
bit, I would say, but you should also have, stay humble and be grateful.
Absolutely.
I think, and I think that goes for a lot of things, but with these big builds, staying humble, I think is, I could see where it could, you could lose sight of it, but I think that would help keep people in the right mindset, which I think you do really well at preaching that, especially to me. Like, you don't know how, like, this, you don't even realize how lucky you are to, like, be here. And it's
Well,
everybody, like, we should all feel that way with these kind of clients, with your clients.
it's
But
really well, our clients.
yeah,
It's I think it's like, I don't know. I can't say it's anything more than God, honestly. Like, put me
yeah,
in all the right spots and all the right places. And even when I was starting out working with the designer, I'm very grateful for she gave me she gave me so much exposure,
yeah,
and also at the same time like threw me to it and just trusted me that I could figure it out,
yeah,
and I did. But there was a lot of like uncertainty, but you just had to figure it out. But she taught me so much about construction
yeah,
that I would have, it just would have taken longer. And that's how I started my design career that way, kind of like you are.
yeah,
And it's going to take you so much further than it took me because you're starting out like this now.
yeah,
So, but no, I couldn't be more grateful. And I wake up and I pinch myself a lot of times to think, like, we've had a crazy year this year.
yeah,
I mean, it's been a crazy couple years, or few years, I don't know. But this year, we went to Paris to go specify furniture. I mean, never in my wildest dreams thought it was like that was a part of my story or our story.
yeah,
I mean, we've done some crazy stuff and gotten to work with some really cool different people, and I just I couldn't be more grateful.
yeah,
Um I know there's a bigger calling for it, and I'm just grateful that we get to use our talents that God gave us. And I can't wait to see what other doors are in front of us because I know there's more of them,
yep,
and it's going to be a lot of fun. And 5 star, I feel like it's just like a gift that we can share with other people, so that they can experience what has been able to be built here
yeah,
with DGD. And um, I hope that it's going to do the same for their businesses too, is
yeah,
the biggest hope for them.
right. Yes. I think it will. I think everybody will be successful.
Well, it's all we hear.
Yeah.
So it constantly makes me realize like this is something that people aren't seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who sees it, that's all we ever hear,
Yeah.
is that I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
I've never gotten anything like this before.
Yeah.
I've never had the details. I've never, so this is something that's not out there. It's different.
It is different. If you were starting your design business from scratch today, what would you do differently?
Oh gosh. I don't, that's a hard thing. I guess working maybe more on the systems and processes, but I don't know. It's some of those fails that have happened through the years that has brought it to where it is today.
Hmm.
I feel like if I hadn't have failed and shown up on site without the right information and kind of, you know, been in one of those positions where I'm like, ugh, I'm the one that's not prepared. I hate that feeling. I
Yeah.
really hate that feeling. And that's kind of where 5 star was built on, is not having that feeling on a job site anymore. Like,
Hmm.
Daly, well, where's this information? I don't like that. I
Yeah.
like being 10 steps ahead of them.
Right.
Um, but I would say that, but then I don't know that I would have gone through all the other things to know it. I think you have to kind of go through some of those fail points
Mhm.
to see what you're missing. And that's where I took a step back and said, what is it that I'm not showing up with? How can I make this better? What is not in my process that needs to be in my process that makes me more legitimate as a designer? Like, this isn't a hobby.
Mhm.
My grandmother was a designer, and she was very good at it, but I think it was a little more of a hobby. Um, she knew what she was doing, but of course, she didn't have all the systems and stuff. They didn't have the technology. But I think the biggest, I don't know. I think the fails are always good.
Yeah.
And Five Star has taken 3 years to get out.
Mhm.
It has been a evolution.
It has. And I think we've kind of strung it along so far or so long just because we're not just putting together these templates and say, "Okay, here you go." We're putting them together, and then when we get another project to go through it on, we're going through that whole process
Mhm.
ourselves. And then we're saying, "Oh, this doesn't really make sense," or actually we can add this, this, and this. And what if we added this layout, or what if we did that or this? And so that's how it's evolved. And so I feel confident in saying, yeah, the spec book works
Mhm.
because we've used it. And Daly has lived through all of these processes that she's teaching other designers, or that you're teaching other designers, as far as making those relationships. So I've watched you create those relationships. I haven't done them myself, but I've
Yeah,
watched,
you've
and
created relationships with these
I
same
have.
people.
I have, but I
They
haven't.
love Haliee too, don't?
Yes.
She's a big part of the business.
Yes, but we've done the process.
Yep.
So I feel confident in saying, yeah, it's going to work. And if you follow these steps, you're going to be successful. No, we don't give you a date on, okay, when you start this course in exactly 9 weeks, you're going to be,
Have your
exactly
builder.
where you want to be. Nothing works like that. So,
No.
it's all a process, but we've gone through it over and over and over and over again, and modified things and tweaked things, and oh, well, you can do this and you can do that. And so yeah, it's taken 3 years to get here, but
But we want to
it's
make, yeah, I think the biggest part with it
awesome.
taking so long was being really confident what we were sending out. I mean, we
Yeah.
are so grateful for our beta testers out there. Thank you
Yes.
for being a part of that piece
Yes.
and trusting us as you have. And there's been an evolution since then, as they all know. But we couldn't be more grateful for the feedback that we did get from them
Absolutely.
about easing it. But we really wanted to make sure we were crossing every T, dotting every I,
Yeah.
because that was the part, like, as with clients,
Hmm.
I don't want to send something out there that isn't completely done to the T, because
Right.
it's just it weighs on me. Like,
Yeah.
if we're not offering something that I feel like could really help somebody,
Hmm.
I don't want to do it.
Right.
And it's the same with clients. Like,
Hmm.
if we can't be there to give you the experience that we have done for every other client, we're not taking your project on
Yeah.
if we're too full.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the biggest, that's why it's taken 3 years. It's been a vacillating, like, just vacillating over all the details and making
Yes.
sure and changing platforms, because one platform is a little more clunkier, and going to one that's more streamlined.
Hmm.
We've just, it's been a lot of pivot, but
Yeah.
we're here now,
Yep.
and it is going out, and we're so excited to see who takes it on and
Yes.
decides they want to change their business and really level it up and start not having to take on so many projects a year, because we don't.
Yeah.
And the business is very successful and doing very well. And we keep getting new clients, and they are really from our relationships.
Yeah.
We do not advertise. We do not get clients from Instagram. Like, that's not who it comes from. We are a referral, and I would say our builder really trusts us that we will take care of their clients when they get them, and that's what we strive to do,
Yeah.
to take care of them and the client.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, sign up today and become the next 5-star designer.
That's the truth. Trust us, we will support you.
Yes.